Okay, let's take a look at the last part of the paper then. So pretty much if you get to this point and you've got everything right so far, then you only need to score an extra few marks and you're pretty much guaranteed your grade C. But hopefully you'll see that there are lots of straightforward questions still to come, which means if you made any slip-ups prior to this, then you can sort those out. So here's a long multiplication question. Again, depends the way you were taught in primary school pretty much how you do this. It's pretty much the box method is the one that seems to be the most popular these days. So let's do that. So we've got a 3-digit. We're going to chop the box up into 3 that way. 3, 7, 2. And we'll go 2 this way. 34. Then you divide each box into its diagonals. And then you do a multiplication grid. So 2 times 3 is 6, which you would write as 0, 6. 2 times 4 is 8. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 4 is 28. 3 3s, 0, 9. 3 4s are 12. So that's how you fill in the boxes. Then to work out what the answer is, you add up the numbers that are in each of those diagonal columns. So you've got 8 in the first one, okay, ignoring the ones that are outside the box. So 8, then the next one will be 8 add 6, which is 14. Now you write down 14 by writing the 4 and then carrying the 1 over into the next diagonal. So the next diagonal now is that one there, which is 1 and 2 and 2 and 1, which is 6. Then the next one is 9 and 1 is 10 and 2 is 12, and then you got 1 and 0 is 1. So these digits form your answer and you write them down in that direction. So it's going to be 1, 2, 6, 4, 8 is your final answer. So you're going to get 1 mark for whatever method that you're going to use. 1 mark for getting the multiplying right, and 1 mark for your final answer. Write down 0.0381 correct to 2 decimal places. So when you're working to decimal places, the decimal places are the numbers after the decimal point. So the 2 decimal places would be that one and that one. And then you look at the next one along. This answer is either going to be 0.03 or 0.04, depending on the next digit. Because the digit is 5 or higher, it's actually closer to 0.04 to 2 decimal places. If that 8 had been a 4, then it would have been closer to 0.03. This one to 3 decimal places, again, the decimal places are the numbers after the decimal point. So it's 887 or 888, but we look at the next one, it's a 4, which means it's closer to 887. So that one will be 479.887. 1 mark for each. Find the value of 2 to the power of 3, 2 cubed, times 3 squared. 2 cubed means 2 times itself 3 times. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. 3 squared is 3 times itself, which is 9. So 2 cubed times 3 squared is 8 times 9. 9 eighths are 72. So there's 1 mark for correctly working out your 8 and 9, and 1 mark for getting the right answer. Now when you're subtracting or adding fractions without a calculator, you can't perform that until both fractions are out of the same thing. Now that one's out of 9, that one's out of 3. So I can't take those away because the numbers on the bottom are different. But I can turn 2/3 into ninths by doing the opposite of what I was doing at this, early on with that question. Where was that question there? Okay, by dividing both of those by 2, I can reduce it. If I want to turn that into something out of 30ths, I can times both of those by 2 to get that. So you can make fractions larger or smaller by doing that method. So 2/3, if I multiply by 3 over 3, okay, so if I'm multiplying top and bottom by 3, I get 6/9. Once I've got them both as ninths, I can then take them away. 8/9 take away 6/9 leaves me 2/9. So 2/9 is my answer. So there's 1 mark for getting that equivalent fraction and 1 mark for doing the subtraction. Total for the page 4, 7, 2, 4, 6, 10, 13 for the page. From the following list of numbers, write down a prime number. So you need to know what a prime number is. A prime number is a number that only has itself and 1 as factors. That means only itself and 1 can divide into it exactly. 15 isn't, because 5 goes into it. 27 isn't, because 9 and 3 go into it. 36 isn't, because 6 goes into it. 54 isn't, because 2 goes into it. 21 isn't, 7 and 3 go into it. 39 isn't, because 3 goes into it. The only one there that is a prime number, because only 17 goes into it and 1 is 17. A cube number is a number you get when you multiply a smaller number by itself 3 times. And the cube number there, so if you're doing this in an exam, it's not going to be a silly number. If you think 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 times 2, we did it the page before, 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 3 times 3 times 3, 3 3s are 9, 9 3s are 27. That's your cube number. It's not going to be a big silly one because they need you to be able to work it out. So the cube number there is 27. Here, if you do 3 times 7 is 21, you're going to get the digits right. Then you count the number of digits that are after the decimal point. There's 1 there and 2 there, which means there's going to be 2 after the decimal point there. So you do 3 7s are 21, and then 2 numbers after decimal point. So there's going to be 2 numbers after decimal point in your answer. And then for this, I would do that the long way. 4.7 take away 3.52. There has to be something above there for me to subtract. If there's no digit there, it means there's a 0. I can't take 2 from 0, so I have to borrow from there, so that becomes 6. 2 from 10 is 8. 5 from 6 is 1. 1 from 4 is 1. 1.18. So for that, there's 1 mark for each of your answers. Enlarge the following figure by a scale factor of 3. Sometimes they'll give you a centre of enlargement. Here they don't, so you can draw your enlargement anywhere you like on the page. But each side needs to be 3 times bigger than it is there. So if that side is 2, on the enlargement, it's going to be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one is 3, so it's going to be 9 on the enlargement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 1, so it's going to be 3 on the enlargement. That's 1, so it's going to be 3 on the enlargement. And then you're just going to join up from there to there. So for that, there'll be 1 mark for the horizontal and vertical sides and 1 mark for the slope. Then we've got a pie chart question. So there's a method to drawing pie charts that you need to learn, and bear in mind that of the 4 marks for this question, only 1 of those marks will be for actually drawing the pie chart. So it's how you show, how you work out the angles that's important. So John carried out a survey in his school to find the numbers of pupils living in houses with 2, 3, 4 or more than 4 bedrooms. The results of his survey are shown in the following table. The first thing you need to do is to work out how many pupils were surveyed. So the total number of pupils there, you're going to add those up. So